Hello ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today I'm podcasting from Arch National Park and I'm at the dedicated Arch. So this is still in Utah and we went to Zion and Bryce National Park, and also the other one is what? Capitol Reef. So this is the Arch National Park. This is a lot of people. I don't like it actually. I like Capitol Reef and Bryce, and those are very underrated national park, but this is a little bit crowded. You have to come really early, otherwise there's no parking. So today I'm going to talk about Ant Financial as well as the Christine Lagarde talk about the digitized euros. So before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming video that could be time sensitive. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, as well as Patreon. Of course, for my Patreon member, I already talked about some of the token has similar potential, similar to Chainlink and Tezos. If you miss those tokens, there's other token similar to this potential, as well as I talk about which gold and silver coin has high resale value. If you're interested, you can join the Patreon group. So let's talk about the Ant Financial. So Ant Financial, in case you don't know, is owned by Alibaba, and of course Jack Ma already stepped down from the Alibaba, and basically he was forced to step down. And if he doesn't step down, basically he probably will got killed by the Communist Party. Right now, Alibaba is basically owned by the Chinese Communist Party, unfortunately. So any private sector that you created during the last decade, it doesn't matter, because the Communist Party can come and take away everything. Just like Jack Ma has to step down, right? Tencent, CEO, same thing. So all these big social media or e-commerce company, those CEO already forced to step down. That is so unfortunate. But anyway, so Ant Financial, they're launching their IPO in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And it's very interesting in Asia when they launch their IPO. Their IPO is very different from the one in US or in Europe, because even an average Joe can participate in those IPO. All you have to do is just submit a form, and then based on a lottery system, then see if you get it. So I think right now it looks like it's like, I don't know how many times oversubscribed in terms of the IPO, and already $4 trillion already want to participate this IPO. And of course in US, IPO is not for average Joe, it's only for accredited investor, unfortunately. And if you are not an accredited investor, you cannot participate in any IPO. But in Asia, it's very, very liberal, basically. All you have to do is just submit. What is this guy doing? Maybe he's looking for something to eat. Look at the feathers for this guy. So shiny. But anyway, I think he's looking for my bags to see something to eat. Anyway, so in Asia, it's more liberal, basically. It's very liberal. And you don't have to be a credit investor. Even an average Joe can participate in IPO. And you have like trillions, $4 trillion already want to get this Ant Financial. So we talked about Ant Financial earlier in my previous video. And it's basically a payment system. And not only the payment system, is also they have a credit, some type of sesame credit as well, and depending on your purchasing pattern or stuff like that. And I don't like this idea, because basically if you are, so basically they follow what you're buying, your purchasing pattern. For example, if you buy too much cigarette, smoking or whatever, cigar or beer, your sesame credit score may be decreased. So this is very similar to a social credit in China. It's just basically a control. So unfortunately, this is the way to go. And of course, they can monitor your buying habit, your patterns, because this is going to be a digitized renminbi using the N financial that is coming. And of course they already have a trial coming up already. Of course they have a trial already in terms of doing the digitized currency renminbi in China. And of course using the N financial, they want to for example the outflow, they can bypass SWIFT, and people from overseas can even use those software. For example, in China, even a street vendor are using some type of WeChat Pay or Tencent Pay, right? So you don't carry a wallet. So if you go to a taxi driver, they don't accept cash. All you need is a cell phone and some type of WeChat payment or some type of Alibaba payment. So this is the way to go, and this is the future. And of course, they're going to monitoring your activities, like what kind of stuff you buy, your purchasing habit, and they probably may penalize certain things that you buy, or they control certain things that you buy. Basically, they have some type of sesame credit score or something. This is insane. So basically, it's another form of control. And in terms of course, you cannot do no longer do money laundering using the digitized currency, because every transaction is tracked. So there's no way you can money laundering at all. No way. So this is also control the capital outflow as well, because a lot of people want to flee out of the country from China, and especially rich people. And another thing is, if you don't know that, I think a lot of the Chinese citizens, they are basically a lot of people, they withheld their passport. They cannot even travel overseas, and because they don't want the foreign currency to be flowing out of China. And also they have shortage of foreign currency as well, of course US dollars, right? Because of the shutdown of the factory in China. And the way you earn foreign currency is, of course, you manufacture something from the factory, and then the buyer is from the Americans and from the European countries. They pay for the shipment. And right now, with the shutdown of the factory, and where do they get foreign currency? They cannot get any foreign currency, basically, right? So right now, in order to prevent any outflow of foreign currency, they basically restrict the Chinese citizens from going to overseas. So they withheld their passport. So yeah. So of course, if you can do some bribery or whatnot, you probably can get away with it. You probably can you can do some bribery. You probably can still travel. This is all about money, control, and power. So unfortunately. And the next thing I want to talk about, and the thing is, the IPO, they are doing that in Hong Kong is pretty interesting, because there's like $4 trillion already interested. And in terms of raising capital, Hong Kong is a very good place to raise your capital, because the territory has the people are pretty, they are pretty well off. They have a lot of money, and it's very easy to raise money in Hong Kong compared to in China, right? And because of also it's a cosmopolitan country, and everything is easier to do in Hong Kong than in China. And but the thing is, like, I don't know if this is going to last. Will the US allow Hong Kong continue to be packing US dollar? That's another story. They may not let them packing the US dollar, and they want to stop the capital inflow to the China, right? Because of the capital raising, $4 trillion already raised in the IPO. In terms of the digitized, the euro, Christine Lagarde already talked about that. So Christine Lagarde talked about the digitized euros. So this is nothing new. I mean, the thing is, like, Christine Lagarde is the member of the ECB, and all this are from the establishment, right? And of course, they want to digitize. If you digitize euro, that means it's easier to control the currency. It's much easier to control the currency, and then they can tracking all the transactions, and eventually they're going to fade out. The paper money is going to be gone eventually. So, and another thing, if they digitize the euro, then they can tracking people's spending habit, and also they can probably put restriction how you can spend your money. For example, you can only buy certain things. Oops, there's a scroll over there. So, for example, you can only buy certain things. For example, if they have a shortage of beef, they will just say, hey, so this amount of money you can only buy chicken or buy pork or whatever. And also there's a expiration date for those digitized currency, right? There is put expiration date. If you don't spend it, you are going to you're going to lose it. So this can also affect the spending pattern of the people. And of course, the herds have no choice but to follow the system. And unfortunately, the way to out of the system, of course, you know how to get out of the system, right? You don't want to be involved in this corrupted system. They are printing money like crazy, and then they can control M1, M2 easily. And of course, they can control the supply of the euro very easily using this type of method. And of course, you have a Federal Reserve coin coming up. Those also digitize the US dollars as well. And I'm not surprised it's going to be the next 2 to 3 years that will be coming. And of course, the ECB and Bank of Japan, and along with Bank of China, everybody is like printing press and basically diluting your purchasing power of the fiat currency. So of course, you have to preserve your purchasing power, and inflation probably 3 to 6%. And of course, the consumer index is a joke in the U.S., right? And when they calculate the inflation, they minus the gas, the clothing, and groceries. I mean, what are you talking about? If you calculate the consumer index. So with the fiat currency, they're printing like a printing press since the 2008 financial crisis. They printing like trillions and trillions of dollars. And who's going to pay it back? Of course, is the taxpayer. Taxpayer is the one who the taxpayer is the one who cover all the losses from those irresponsible hedge fund. Of course, if you still remember back then, like Bank of America take over Merrill Lynch, and then Chase Manhattan take over. So Chase Manhattan take over Morgan Stanley at the time after the financial crisis, and of course all this printing, and of course is the taxpayer who pay for all this crap, and of course the taxpayer got nothing, right? It's just me and you who are paying heavy taxes, and nobody go to jail, right? Even though they so irresponsible with the credit swap, the mortgage default swap, right? And so the Wall Street, basically anything happen, the government is going to bail them out. But the thing is, when the little guy get into trouble, who is going to bail them out? So the thing is, in order to protect yourself and to be out of the system, you know what you need to be done. So you want to be out of the system. For example, some of your money should be put in gold and silver along with the cryptocurrency. And of course, you have to hold your hardware wallet. If you don't hold your private key, you don't hold your token. Those are very important. And another thing is to be sure to grow your own supplies and stuff like that. So better to stay away from the city, because right now we don't know the next collapse. Things will be turning really ugly. And because with the lockdown and all this BLM movement and a whole bunch of riot in the city, I don't think it's a good idea to stay in the city anymore. And those are very I mean, if you want to stay in the city, fine, just get a gun, bear arms, right? And make sure you have enough bullets as well, right? So I think it's very important to protect yourself and your family. And things are really real. When things become so desperate, desperate people, desperate measures, right? So you got to be prepared what's coming up in the future. And unfortunately, there will be more and more control with this lockdown. I think it's a little bit gone too far. Some of the state, especially in the state of California, run by the Democrats, and they try to play this pandemic game. But the thing is, like some area maybe they, in terms of the epidemics, is pretty bad. But the thing is, in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, the cases is not that many. Even though the population is pretty, I don't know how many millions population in the Bay Area, but the cases are not that severe. And in terms of the ICU capacity, they still have lots of room. So I think they try to over exaggerate stuff to play the game for the election, because they want to make the pandemic really bad, and then affecting who to vote for, right? So this is basically what they're trying to do. And the thing is, if you listen to my channel, you're probably well prepared for this pandemic. I have been telling this is going to happen since the end of January, and I start wearing surgical masks back in end of January. Everybody think I'm crazy, but right now I'm telling people you don't have to be worried about this, because and I stopped wearing surgical masks except when I'm indoor, except when I go to the hospital. Of course, I'm going to wear a surgical mask. But if you're outdoor, you have sunlight, you don't need to wear a freaking mask. People are so stupid. Unfortunately, the herds still follow the mainstream media. Mainstream media dramatize everything, but you do whatever you need to do. I'm not your healthcare provider. If you have any question or concern about the virus, you should consult your physicians, but you make your own decision. So right now I'm telling people that they should just forget about the lockdown. They should just go outside. And don't forget, I start traveling during the lockdown back in May. And when everybody are freaking out, they don't want to travel. And in terms of the T cells immunity, probably a lot of people already probably got the virus already. And it will go through the T cells herd immunity. So back in January, February, you should be worried. February, March, you should be worried, because at the time, is at the very beginning of the pandemics, and that is a window of opportunity to control the virus. But right now, everything is all out. There's no point to be scared anymore. And plus, probably some of the people already got it already. And of course, the mainstream media is not going to talk about it. They will continue to creating fear for this election agenda. And unfortunately, the mainstream media also have their own agenda, right? And they're owned by corporations. So you should be very careful. And also, there's whole bunch of censorship in YouTube as well as in Facebook, even in Twitter. I'm very disappointed with Twitter, Jack Dorsey. So there's a whole bunch of censorship in the mainstream media, and of course everybody have their own agenda, and you got to be careful what you are looking for. Oh, this is the arch on the other side. But anyway, so I think this video is getting too long, so I'm going to cut it right there. And so there's a whole bunch of censorship, so you got to be careful what you are reading, watching. I'm under the arch right now. So things are not so simple as you think. You got to be careful what you're dealing with. And of course, the herds are still follow the mainstream media. They still think right now, because of the pandemic, they're so scared. And this is not the time to scare, okay? Right now, I don't think it's so scared compared to January and February and March. But anyway, so let me know. Okay, this is at the top of the arch. So let me know what you think about the digitized renminbi. Let me know what you think about the digitized renminbi. I would love to hear from you. And also, how about the ECB? In terms of the ECB, they are going to digitize the euro. Comment below. I would love to hear from you. And also N Financial, did you subscribe to N Financial as well? Let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you. If you find this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming video that could be time sensitive. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, as well as Patreon. Remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not your financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency, commodity, and stock market can have inherent risks. Please use of due diligence. So this video is only for entertainment and informational purposes, not a financial advice. Please consult with a financial planner. Also, I'm not your healthcare provider. If you have any questions or concern about the virus, you should talk to your primary care physician. And peace out.